Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The cold air has arrived. Temperatures will dip down to the 20s for the first time since February. I'll show you what it will feel like as you head out the door tomorrow morning.
Black Friday is in full swing. We are helping you find the best deals and navigate those crowded parking lots.
And the EPA approves another forever chemical that could be sprayed on produce. Why one biologist says that's not only harmful, but it could be irreversible. The cold air is here, and tonight will be the coldest since February. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Thanks for joining us on this Black Friday. A lot of shoppers out there right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at how cold it'll feel when you step out this weekend. Elizabeth, freezing.
Oh, yeah. The cold air arrived. We started to feel it yesterday, and it was a cold start this morning with the wind chill. It felt like 20s in some places. So we're tracking this colder air, which will stay with us for most of the weekend. On Sunday, will be slightly warmer, but nothing like what we saw at the beginning of the week. Here's a look at North Hills. Lots of sunshine and plenty of people out and about at North Hills and all over trying to get in some shopping and most likely wearing their jackets or coats. It is 42 degrees right now with a northwest wind at 7 miles per hour. That means we'll have a little bit of a wind chill. So right now it feels like 39 in Fayetteville, even though it's 44. The temperature is on the left and the wind chill's on the right. Feels like 38 in Durham, 34 in Roxborough, and 36 in South Hill. So it's chilly out there, but not as cold as what we'll see tonight. For the first time, we'll drop down into the low to mid 20s. We shouldn't see a huge wind chill overnight tonight, but still, we're talking low to mid 20s, which we haven't seen since February. So we'll take a look at those specific temperatures and when we'll see a little bit of a warm up coming up.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Well, it's Black Friday and the biggest holiday shopping day of the year. Or is it?
Or is it? We have team coverage to get an idea of the impacts for chain retailers and small businesses today. Let's begin with 5 on your side's Keely Arthur live at Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh to share how spending habits have changed and how it's potentially more beneficial to you, the consumer. Hey, Keely.
Hi there. What a great assignment being at the mall on Black Friday. Consumers are expected to spend more than $660 between today and December 1st. It's both online and in person, but being here at the mall, there's just something special to it. You can see Santa standing up right there. The mall is decorated. It really gets you in the holiday spirit. 130 million people are expected to shop today alone. So Black Friday still remains the biggest single day for shopping, although shoppers are expected to spend 4% less today and this weekend compared to last year, which, that's not so bad. Save your money. Today is expected to be the best day price-wise to purchase electronics, toys, and appliances. So is today the best shopping day in general? Well, if you're looking for a specific item, like a toy or something that you know is going to sell out, buy it today. But we know that these deals are not going to just be today. They're going to last up until Christmas. So you're probably not going to miss out. So when I think about Black Friday, I can't help but think about safety. I was in Durham a few years ago during the South Point shooting, and then we had the Stampede here a few years ago as well. I am happy to report that everyone seems to be in good spirits. There's nothing going on. I've seen lots of security guards. The only piece of extra advice I have for consumers is get here early and pack your patience as far as parking goes. Not too crazy in the mall, but finding a spot is a little hectic. That's why Vinny and I ran here to get to this live shot. So make sure you give yourself ample time to get here, but it is a great day to be out and shopping. Reporting live at Crabtree Valley Mall, Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Yeah, parking can be really, really tough. But
Yes.
Black Friday, it doesn't just mean lining up at the big box retailers or shopping online. It's also a really big day for locally owned shops, too.
It is. WRAL's Kirsten Clark is live at Village District in Raleigh. Kirsten, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Laura. We're here at Cheshire Cat Gallery, where over 100 vendors just sell a variety of items here. I mean, you've got jewelry, decor, clothes, records, and so much more. We've seen shoppers flowing in and out this morning, and I talked to a few vendors who shared how important it is for their livelihoods and the local economy when people shop and spend locally. One vendor said Black Friday and holiday shopping looks a little different for him this year as compared to years past.
It's a little different. than it has been in the past. We usually get the out-of-towners now, I think, after Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving, I think. And that's good for me.
Now, tomorrow is another big day for these locally owned stores. That's Small Business Saturday. We were told it's another opportunity for these businesses to compete with big retailers during the shopping season here in the holidays, online, and again, those big retailers. Live in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, busy shopping day. Look no further than the parking lots around many of our shopping destinations, like right here at Streets at South Point, Sky 5 over the scene right now. Practically every parking space taken. They've got monitors in the parking lot. They've got people driving around looking for parking spaces. We're going to try to find out exactly how long it's taking some people to find a park. You can see it right there. Back here in Raleigh, we've also isolated a couple of major shopping centers. The North Hills Shopping Center, we're not seeing any delays because that's a Six Forks Road exit there off the Beltline. But a little farther up the street, and you take that exit to Glenwood Avenue and Crabtree Valley Mall, you can see nothing but red showing up, bumper-to-bumper traffic there outside Crabtree Valley Mall. We'll continue to monitor it here in the WRAL Live Center during this new newscast.
Look at those parking lots. Thanks, Ken. And we have you covered this Black Friday. You can find some of the best deals on WRAL's Smart Shopper page. Just look under the 5 on Your Side consumer tab on WRAL.com or the WRAL app. President Trump says he is planning to close off immigration for people from third world countries, and the Trump administration plans to re-examine any green card holder from what they call a country of concern. This comes after the ambush shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. Wednesday. One of those members, shot Sarah Beckstrom, has died. A procession was held as her body was transferred from MedStar Washington Hospital Center to the medical examiner's office last night. The shooting suspect is a 29-year-old Afghan national. He was granted asylum in April. However, the White House rejects responsibility. The second Guard member shot is still in the hospital. President Trump is deploying 500 more Guard members to D.C.
And new information this afternoon about a crash involving a Rollsville police officer that happened last night. Troopers say a Rollsville Office Department Chevy Tahoe that was at a traffic stop was struck in the rear by a Chevy Blazer that was traveling north on US 401. The Rollsville officer was not hurt in that crash. Troopers identified the driver of the Blazer as 50-year-old David Earl Jones Jr. of Henderson. He was arrested and charged with DWI, driving with a revoked license, reckless driving, and other offenses. Well, the community will honor Officer Roger Smith this weekend. A memorial motorcycle ride will be held on Sunday morning. Smith was shot and killed on duty inside the Wake Med Garner Emergency Department. The ride will start at 10:42 in the morning at the Garner Performing Arts Center and will pass Wake Med Garner. Operation Fly Our Flag is the group that's putting on the event. It is also selling stickers to raise money for Smith's family. And the man accused of killing Officer Smith will be back in court later this month. Benji Martin Jr. appeared in court for the first time since Monday. He was not given bond. Right before he appeared in court, his defense filed a new document uncovering more information. The defense claims that Martin did not have a gun on him when he went into the facility that day. They also claim that Martin was at the facility seeking treatment for, quote, mental anguish. They say Martin's fiancée just had experienced a miscarriage.
A Raleigh man is facing charges this morning after he was accused of stabbing a dog. 59-year-old Herbert Kearney has been
The number of deaths is rising after that fire in Hong Kong. At least 128 people are confirmed dead. And new this hour, a total of 8 people have been arrested in connection to the fire. The fire is believed to have started in bamboo scaffolding and construction netting, then spread across 7 of the complex's 8 buildings. More than 79 people were injured, including 12 firefighters.
Firefighters in St. Louis are battling this huge warehouse fire. We're now told that it will likely burn until Sunday. The NBC affiliate there is reporting that at least 2 high-rise warehouses are on fire right now, and a large section of the warehouse has collapsed. Smoke has been drifting over I-44 nearby. A Florida family, including a 90-year-old man, says they're thankful to be alive. They survived a boating accident Monday that forced them to endure wind, waves, and cold temperatures. Sarah Blazanes reports from Clearwater.
You're thinking, is this it, right? I mean, and to have your son on the boat with you is the worst feeling in the world.
Chris Harding Sr. says Monday started out as the perfect day, not unlike many of his family's past fishing trips.
Well, we got out there, we started catching some big fish. I caught a shark. I landed the shark, and literally like maybe not even 10, 15 minutes afterwards, the boat flipped.
The Hardings say by the time they noticed the boat was taking on water, it was too late. They tried using a pump, but the boat ended up capsizing. Their 90-year-old great uncle, Clarence Woods, 70-year-old father-in-law and grandfather, Dennis Woods, along with 42-year-old Chris Sr. and 18-year-old Chris Jr., were surrounded by water with no land in sight.
I was never put in a position like that before, so, it didn't really feel real because I've never been in a life-threatening situation like that where I was alive, but I had no way to actually know that I was going to live.
But father and son say they weren't thinking about that at first. In fact, they say when the men climbed on top of the capsized boat, Chris Jr. joked about it happening on a big day for his grandfather.
I think my son said something about, and it's your birthday, and they're like, oh yeah, he's like, I didn't get no birthday cake or nobody sing me happy birthday, so we all just started singing happy birthday on the boat.
But they say the hard part came after dark.
It was pretty brutal. I mean, right before the sun started setting, the water was really calm, and then night came, and then it just got really rough.
It was freezing, and the waves were just knocking us all over, and we kept slipping and falling and trying to hold on.
Father and son tell us it was a huge relief to see a Coast Guard plane the next morning. The men were hospitalized, with Chris Sr. telling us he and his son suffered from injuries and hypothermia. He says an experience like theirs puts things into perspective.
You tend to, forget about the little things until something like that happens, and you appreciate everything, especially land.
Happy they're okay. That was Sarah Blazanes reporting. The Coast Guard found the group 26 miles offshore from Clearwater. Police will investigate what went wrong with the boat. Chris Sr. says that he and his family are grateful the boat did not sink, which could have led to a much different outcome.
They are so lucky they're okay. Well, video this morning showing the moment a 6.0 magnitude earthquake hit Alaska. Look at this. This is from a coffee shop in Anchorage yesterday morning. You can see stuff falling off the shelves and an employee taking shelter underneath a countertop there. The earthquake hit about 35 miles northwest of Anchorage, but was felt as far as 245 miles away. No immediate reports of damage. This is the largest earthquake in Alaska since 2021. Just glad everybody is okay, because that's pretty scary.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Well, if you are heading out on this Black Friday, you're going to also be braving some really cold, chilly temperatures. Yes. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at Fayetteville this morning, or this afternoon. Elizabeth.
Take a look at this. So this is what they call a Dickens holiday. This is the 26th year of it. They have all these vendors set up, but it all has to be of the period of Charles Dickens. And so, matter of fact, my husband's aunt makes these beautiful crocheted hats and scarves to sell. They have a candlelight parade that happens later on, and some fireworks, and so many dancers, so much music, people walking around in costumes and caroling. It's such a neat event. It's chilly. Everybody is definitely dressed up warmly. And I saw a couple of people in character walking down the street a few minutes ago. I was hoping that they would walk down while we were taking a look at the shot, but it's a really, really fun event. 42 degrees right now. We'll climb on up into the mid-40s this afternoon, so we're almost as warm as we'll be all day long. Right now it's 44 in Fayetteville, 43 Rocky Mount, and 41 degrees in Roxborough. Compared to yesterday, temperatures are about 5 to 10 degrees colder. Yesterday we made it into the upper 50s in some places, and we're looking at mid-40s for highs this afternoon in Raleigh and Durham. We might make it all the way up to 50 there in Fayetteville. Here's a live look at Durham. Another thing that we're looking forward to on Wednesday is lighting our towers. That's going to be something that we will enjoy so much. That happens on Wednesday. We'll light the Lucky Strike Tower in Durham, as well as Rocky Mount Mills, and of course right here in our backyard. And also in Durham, Festival of Lights is almost every night between now and the first of the year. It's going to be chilly if you're there tonight, but nice and clear. Our temperature as the gates open at 5:30 will be right around 40 degrees and then dropping close to freezing before it all ends. So beautiful light display with a lot of other fun things to do there. Tonight's going to be the coldest night that we've seen in quite some time, really since February. 24 in Fayetteville and Raleigh, 22 in Durham, 19 in Roanoke Rapids, 22 degrees in Southern Pines. So just a really, really cold one. On Sunday, 31, and then we're above freezing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but it definitely still stays cool. That low temperature of 24, we haven't been close to that since February the 22nd. You know, it is December 1st on Monday. Feeling like it. The normal high is 59, and so we're closer to that on Sunday, but other than that, we're looking at well below normal high temperatures, which is a complete reverse from what we saw for most of the month of November. Our highs were in the 60s and 70s. None of that is in our forecast. We take a look at the temperature change. What you see here in the blue is how much temperatures are below normal, and we have a little bit of warmth that tries to push in and just doesn't really get very far. By Monday and Tuesday, we're just right back into temperatures well below normal. Next 6 to 10 days, we're going to kind of straddle the line here between below and above average. And like I said, average is going to be around the mid to upper 50s as we get into the beginning of December. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. And again, highs will be in the low 40s, low to mid 40s today and Saturday. A little warmer on Sunday, 57. We do have a chance for some showers late on Sunday into Sunday night. I'll walk you through the timeline for that coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Coming up this afternoon on WRAL at 4, parents push back on opening a hemp store 1 block away from an elementary school. They want Wendell to change zoning rules to keep these products away from students. The town says there's a chance it could happen.
And is your fridge full of leftovers after that big Thanksgiving meal? Today at 5, we'll show you which foods spoil a lot faster than you might think. And still ahead this noon, Black Friday hurdles. Just ahead, the 2 current issues that are making this year's hunt for bargains a little harder.
Also, losing their edge. The new study showing college graduates may not always have the job market advantage. We'll take a look at why that is. A recent study suggests a person's education level may not give them an upper hand in the job market. That study analyzed unemployment trends for high school and college graduates between ages 22 and 27. It found the unemployment gap between the 2 groups has narrowed sharply since the 2008 financial crisis. It's now the lowest since 1970. Researchers also found that the rate of the job findings has declined since 2000. The transitions into and out of work are happening at about the same pace for both groups. Still, college-educated workers retain an edge when it comes to job retention and compensation.
Tariffs and inflation are adding some complexity to this Black Friday. Experts suggest that planning a budget before hitting the stores or the internet can be a really good idea. Amy Kiley reports on their advice in the context of the broader economy.
Today is Black Friday, and it could be slower than last year. The National Retail Federation forecasts nearly 187 million people will shop online or in stores between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday. That's fewer than the near record number it reported in 2024. Today's shoppers might have added incentive to look for deals. Some face lower disposable income due to higher food and energy costs.
The places where inflation's hitting us leave very little margin for going out and kind of blowing it on a luxury air fryer.
To help people budget, some experts recommend what's called the 1% rule.
Take 1% of your annual income and make that the ceiling, so the upper bound for the entire season. If you make $70K, that's $700 for everything. So for gifts, travel, food, hosting.
This expert suggests starting with that total and then making a list instead of the other way around. She also says limiting transactions could reduce spending.
The number of swipes or purchases is one of the easiest ways to avoid that quiet buildup of all the micro spending and micro swipes that really blow up even the best laid plans.
Research shows some retailers increase prices before Black Friday. That means not all sales offer true discounts, but
Black Friday and Cyber Monday is definitely the best time to get deals. It's not a scam.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And tomorrow is Small Business Saturday. Many mom and pop shops are struggling with higher import and health care costs.
Well, as the holiday shopping season gets started, there are a few dates to remember if you want your gifts to arrive on time for Christmas. Cards and gifts should be sent by December 17th for Ground Advantage and First Class Mail. For Priority Mail, it's December 18th, and for Priority Mail Express, it's December 20th. Philip Bogenberger says mail carriers are going to be putting in extra time this year to make sure your packages and cards arrive on time.
Our carriers are going to be delivering earlier in the morning and later in the evening, especially as we move further into the holidays. So we do ask our customers to feel free to leave a porch light on, and definitely, a clear path to the mailbox for their safety.
So if you are shipping with FedEx Ground Economy Service, packages will need to be mailed by December 15th.
New month, new rules. Legislation passed earlier in the General Assembly takes effect on Monday. We'll tell you what laws will be on the books.
Also ahead, Best in Show, Trained in the Triangle. Hear what the trainer of this year's National Dog Show winner has to say about his furry friend.
And here's a look at your NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Let's take a look ahead to next week for a moment, because on December 1st, there are a lot of new laws taking effect in North Carolina. Stuff that lawmakers voted on and passed earlier this year that only start to take effect on Monday. The list includes public safety reforms, new powers for the state auditor, and even harsher penalties for people who steal gift cards.
Ashley Rowe has a quick look at some of the new state laws hitting the books next week.
The biggest headline is Arena's Law. It's named for the woman stabbed to death on a train in Charlotte. The man accused of killing Arena Zarutska had been released earlier this year on a misdemeanor count. Arena's Law requires more strict scrutiny when considering pretrial release. But that's not all. The law also attempts to bring back the death penalty in North Carolina, ordering Governor Stein to find a solution. The last execution in our state was Samuel Flippin in 2006. Right now, 122 people are on death row in North Carolina. There are lots of other public safety laws taking effect December 1st. Harsher penalties for assaulting utility workers, repeat offenders of domestic violence, soliciting children on the internet, exposing children to drugs, crimes involving fentanyl, and even stealing gift cards. Another law bans political discrimination in disaster relief efforts. This actually happened. After Hurricane Milton in Florida, a FEMA employee was fired after telling their team to avoid homes with Trump signs. Another law gives more power to North Carolina's state auditor, Dave Bullock. He'll be able to investigate any entity, including private businesses, if they receive state or federal funding. More new state laws take effect on January 1st, so expect another list like this in the new year.
And another challenge to North Carolina's redrawn congressional map could be on the way. This comes after judges let the new map stand, and the NAACP says they now plan to appeal that decision. Here's a look at the old map versus the new one that would create a new Republican House seat in Congress. This new map will make it easier for Republicans to defeat Democratic Congressman Don Davis in eastern North Carolina. Earlier this week, a panel of judges rejected a claim that lawmakers engaged in unconstitutional gerrymandering. Republicans have celebrated the ruling, while groups like the NAACP plan to fight it.
Enough is enough. This is the swift urgency of now that we must continue to fight for the rights of people to be represented by people who want to represent them. Not just have their name where they can go and vote for someone who was threatening them that we need to have another congressional district.
Any appeal would head directly to the U.S. Supreme Court.
And WRAL has spent years covering the extensive redistricting saga in North Carolina. You can read through the story of how we got to this point, get an in-depth explanation of gerrymandering and how it works, all under the NC Capitol section on WRAL.com.
It was a tough holiday for loved ones in Halifax County after a couple died in a house fire. Greg and Margaret Terry were inside their home on Loop Road in Enfield when fire officials say an electric issue started the fire. The home was a total loss. Friends and family of the couple tell us the two are pillars in the Enfield community.
it was the worst phone call that you could ever get right here before the holidays, because they was the people that we go to every holiday, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. We celebrate at their house. And now we don't even have that no more.
The family says they're taking things day by day and thank the community for all of their support.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we're staying on top of this Black Friday shopping frenzy that we're experiencing. Take a look at I-40 westbound. This is the exit, the Fayetteville Road exit to Streets at South Point. You can see traffic is backed up all the way onto the interstate. If you're with us at the top of the broadcast, we showed you that practically every parking space at the Streets of South Point were practically full. Monitors were showing people where to find empty parking spaces. And of course, we'll continue to track that as well. Here in Raleigh, we've isolated a couple of issues in terms of the shopping centers. North Hills, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown around Six Forks Road, around the North Hills Shopping Center. But here's the real trouble spot. This is a crash that just happened in that particular area on Glenwood Avenue, not to mention the shopping traffic on the east and westbound lanes of Glenwood Avenue around Crabtree Valley Mall. So definitely give yourself some extra time if you're planning to go out and shop today in any of these major shopping areas.
All right, thank you, Ken. Well, if you didn't get enough football action yesterday, the fun on the gridiron continues this weekend. First, your Carolina Panthers will host the LA Rams on Sunday. The Panthers are coming off a tough loss Monday night to the 49ers, while the Rams look to continue their 6-game win streak. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. on Fox 50. And then on Sunday, Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders, they will host Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Both teams are coming off of a bye week. Coverage from the Football Night in America team starts at 7 p.m. Kickoff is at 8:20 right here on WRAL.
Well, listen to this. A Johnston County dog took home the top prize at this year's National Dog Show. Soleil is a black Belgian sheepdog. She won the herding group competition before advancing to a best in show round of 7. Soleil defeated a miniature Schnauzer, a Shih Tzu, and a Bichon Frise with stronger on paper credentials. So we talked with Daniel Martin, Soleil's handler, who is from Johnston County.
Out of the two of us, Soleil is the professional. I mean, all the eyes are drawn to her. For Soleil to represent the Belgian sheepdog, in my eyes, is still a rare breed. I mean, you don't see them very that often. And for her to be noticed at that level, it meant a lot. I mean, it meant very much. And it just still, I mean, I get jittery and goosebumps because it's still, we're still floating on that wind, and we will for a while. I mean, it's a very special and big show.
A lot of adrenaline. Truly amazing. So Martin and Soleil were also featured on the Today Show this morning. A troubling comeback. Measles is on the rise worldwide. Just ahead, why health officials worry it could be the sign of a surge in other preventable diseases.
Also ahead, write it out, the new study that links the power of the page and the health of your brain. Measles cases are surging worldwide. The World Health Organization issued a new warning today saying that outbreaks of other vaccine-preventable diseases could be next. Because it's so contagious, measles is often the first disease to pop up when vaccination rates drop overall. Whooping cough cases are also rising in the U.S. and are on track to be the most in a decade.
After Thanksgiving, there's usually plenty of leftovers to go around. And if you follow a few simple serving precautions, you can keep them safe to eat for days to come. So as soon as you're ready to put food away, Cleveland Clinic says there's no need to wait for hot dishes to cool. It's always best to get things in the fridge as quickly as possible. When storing leftovers, make sure to use shallow, airtight containers and avoid overfilling or putting large pans directly in the fridge. This helps the food cool quickly and evenly, reducing the risk of bacterial growth. Even if you follow all of these tips, Cleveland Clinic says that you still only have a certain amount of time to enjoy leftovers.
A good rule of thumb is that leftovers are safe for 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator. So if you think you're going to go longer than that before you can finish foods off or before you eat them, your best bet is to throw them in the freezer to keep them safe.
And Alexis Supin says there that the same storage tips apply for the freezer, but you should use freezer-safe containers in this case. While frozen leftovers can stay safe indefinitely, their flavor and texture may start to change after about 4 months. Some passengers visiting family or friends want to take food with them on their flights, but what part of your Thanksgiving feast can you actually travel with? According to the TSA, you can take baked goods, meats, either frozen, cooked, or uncooked, as a carry-on item. Fresh fruits and vegetables, candy and spices are also okay. Gravy, alcohol, and anything in a glass container will have to get checked.
A new study says writing builds resilience by changing your brain. Writing, whether a text, an essay, or jotting thoughts down on paper, can help you handle daily stress. Researchers say the act of writing calms the brain and improves processing, a key to resilience. The study found that writing lets you face pain, create distance, and shift from despair to clarity. The American Psychological Association defines resilience as ongoing growth through life's challenges. Still ahead, nobody's market. Home prices continue to rise. But why aren't potential sellers happy? We'll explain how the current housing situation is so complicated and frustrating for everyone.
Plus, from stuffing to takeoff, how Thanksgiving leftovers could fuel future flights. Coming up.
Home prices are still rising, but some real estate agents call the current home sale situation nobody's market. Real estate analytics firm Cotality estimates that prices are up just over 1% year over year, while Redfin puts the increase closer to 3%. With 30-year mortgage rates around 6.26% this fall, the average monthly payment on a typical home takes about 30% of the median household income. Some sellers who missed the last housing boom are pulling their listings rather than accepting lower offers.
Well, the day after Thanksgiving isn't just a shopping frenzy for retailers. It's one of the busiest days of the year for plumbers, too. So much so that the industry has nicknamed it Brown Friday. According to Roto-Rooter, plumbing service calls surge by nearly 50% on this day alone. To avoid clogs, plumbers are reminding people to be mindful of what they're putting down their drain and in the garbage disposal. Experts say try not to grind bones, eggshells, oils, and grease. Well, if you're wondering what to do with all those post-Thanksgiving leftovers and don't have the stomach to keep gobbling them up, well, a group of researchers has come up with a creative way to use them.
Yeah, this is really interesting. While it may not mean fueling your body, it could be fueling the future of travel. Rebecca Castor shows us how.
After gobbling up that Thanksgiving turkey, those fan-favorite side dishes, and all the countless desserts we can't resist, it's time for the leftovers. But if stuffing your stomach with more food is the last thing you want to do after a full day of Thanksgiving feasting, there's a new plan. Convert those food scraps into jet fuel.
So we try to, my lab, to mimic the Mother Nature's process.
Professor Yuan Weizhang, a researcher at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, says his lab of agricultural engineers has found a way to take excess food waste and convert it into biofuel. The team started by collecting food waste from nearby food processing plants, then using a chemical process to essentially fast-forward nature's timeline, which would normally take millions of years to create crude oil from organic matter. Now, minus the waiting, the team's food-turned biofuel has all the makings to go straight into a plane as conventional jet fuel.
Think about today's economy. We are more than 80 and 90% of our daily consumer product is derived from petroleum, crude oil. So if we can supplement or replace the crude oil, then, well, the world is much nicer.
But while the future of fuel could come down to what's left on the table,
sounds pretty cool.
Some say they have mixed feelings about turning those leftover holiday scraps into future fuel for travel.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I feel like most leftovers are probably not great for powering vehicles. They're better ate the next day.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, we compost, so any way to make that not feel wasted, I think is a great idea.
That was Rebecca Castor reporting. Now, at this point, these findings are still more of just a proof of concept.
But researchers say it does open up the possibility of using food waste to help the airline industry eventually achieve net zero carbon emissions.
Wow, could you imagine that?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Turkey.
Fueling travel.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Garter. She has a live look. Fenton and Carrie, look at all those ice skaters.
Look at that. Normally, we're showing this at lunchtime, where it's been so warm too. I mean, earlier in the week we were seeing highs in the 60s and 70s. So it feels like ice skating weather. And of course, it's Black Friday. So, I guess this is a nice distraction. If mom says we're going shopping, kids are there skating. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. 42 degrees, our current temperature, and they're in the shade too. So it is chilly. Our wind is northwest at 7 right now, and it may be gusting up to 15 to 20 this afternoon. So it'll feel colder than those low to mid 40s that we'll see in the thermometers. We do have that cold air that just took a big dive over us yesterday. It's going to be around for a while. We'll see temperatures warming slightly as we get into the day on Sunday, but we've got a long way to go to get back to where we were at the beginning of this week. Mid 40s for the most part for highs this afternoon. Fayetteville a little bit warmer at 49, but 46 in Goldsboro, 44 in Lewisburg. And of course, earlier we talked about just how cold it will be tonight. For the first time since last February, we'll see temperatures in the low to mid 20s. Now, we had a wind chill this morning, probably not as much wind chill for tomorrow morning, but still, my goodness. And of course, it's going to be a cold day again tomorrow. So that'll affect folks heading out to the Wake Forest game at Duke. Game time 3:30. At that point, temperatures will be in the mid 40s. Toward the end of the game, we'll definitely drop into the 30s. And then, this is a night game. UNC plays at NC State at 7:30. 37 degrees at 7 o'clock and at 11 o'clock around 34 or 35 degrees. So it's going to be cold. It is clear, though. However, if you take a look at any of the ski resorts in North Carolina, it has been snowing for the last couple of days. It's just all coming out of the snow guns. But it never ceases to amaze me how quickly they can cover those ski resorts. I mean, this is 2 days worth of blowing snow, and they are covered. A lot of them will be opening this weekend or next weekend. We had an early opening a couple weeks ago, but then it got so warm. Here's what happens for us next. Our next big weather maker is a cold front that comes in on Sunday. We take a look at Futurecast, kicking things off at around 10 o'clock. It's going to be cloudier for us on Sunday. Right around lunchtime, there could be a quick shower that comes through. But when the cold front arrives later on in the afternoon and evening, that's when we'll have a better chance for rain, most likely around 5 or 6 o'clock, and then up until around maybe 4 or 5 a.m. It looks like it'll be dry for the morning commute, but there may be some wet streets out there. 60% chance on Sunday, and as cold as it's been, you're probably wondering, but no, it'll be too warm for anything frozen. Same thing on Tuesday. Tuesday, 80% chance. We still need some rain, and we could get a really good soaking on Tuesday, which would be nice. Right now, it looks dry for Wednesday for one of our favorite events, and that is the Tower Lightings. So right here in our backyard, as well as Durham and over in Rocky Mount.
Elizabeth, thank you. Just ahead, rare egg on the block.
Find out just how much this beautiful crystal creation is expected to fetch at auction next week.
Well, as we wrap things up, here's a look at a few headlines that we're following today.
A Raleigh man is facing charges accused of stabbing a dog. 59-year-old Herbert Kearney has been charged with felony cruelty to animals. Arrest warrants say that he was arrested yesterday for stabbing a 10-month-old German Shepherd. The warrant does not say if the dog is dead or alive.
It's Black Friday, the biggest holiday shopping day of the year, and malls are busy around the area, even as more people shop online. We're seeing steady streams of people at Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh, and over in Durham, at the streets of South Point, parking lots are packed. 130 million people are expected to shop today.
Well, Black Friday doesn't just mean lining up at the big box retailers or shopping online. This is also a big day for locally owned shops, like many in the Village District. Tomorrow is another big day for those locally owned stores. It's Small Business Saturday. You can find some of the best deals on WRAL's Smart Shopper page on WRAL.com or the WRAL app.
A single egg is expected to fetch over $26 million at auction next month, and it's not from a dinosaur or a magic chicken.
Nope, this is it. This is the 112-year-old winter egg made by Fabergé in St. Petersburg. It is crafted from clear quartz. Its hand-carved interior flowers make it even more unusual, as most Fabergé eggs feature mechanical surprises. Fabergé made only 50 imperial eggs, and just 7 remain in private hands, only 3 of which can realistically be sold. The winter egg has broken auction records twice, 1994 and then again in 2002. The egg goes to auction at Christie's in London on Tuesday. Wow. Well, we know that you'll be eating Thanksgiving leftovers today. Maybe you already have.
Yes.
And also into the weekend. But if you want a radical change of pace, you're allowed.
And that's because this is National French Toast Day. Although it's called French toast, the dish predates France. A version of French toast was found in an ancient Roman cookbook. So historians believe the term French refers to the verb to French, which means to slice in Old Irish. Another theory is that chefs use the term French to inflate the price. Interesting.
It's delicious. Okay, time for our pet of the day. I cannot get over him. My guy. My guy is a 4-week-old guinea pig. He is so sweet. He has a great sport for letting the SPCA of Wake County for putting that turkey hat on him. He loves being held and snuggled, and he appreciates the fine things in life: cozy fleece blankets and lots of hay. Go to spcawake.org to learn more about my guy.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. We'll see you later.
He's so cute.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.